Hello everyone, welcome to Yunus English. I brought an article from Cnbc published on May 12th. The title is China sees the US trade deal as a huge win for Beijing. Key points: China is casting the trade agreement with the US as a victory. After 2 days of negotiation with the US officials, China got the Trump administration to roll back its 145 tariffs, which had all but halted bilateral trade. Stock markets across the world surged after Beijing and Washington announced the deal. Chinese officials, influencers, and state-run media on Monday were casting the initial trade agreements and 90-day tariff pause with the US as a victory and a vindication of Beijing's negotiating strategy. They are arguing that their defiant public postures worked and was a major reason they were able to strike a deal with the US officials in Switzerland with relatively few concessions. China's firm countermeasures and resolute stance have been highly effective, said a social media account linked to China's national broadcaster CCTV. In the eyes of the Chinese public, negotiators from Beijing appear to have convinced President Donald Trump administration to roll back most of the 145 tariff rates that Trump imposed and slash them to 30%. In exchange, China pledged to roll back most of the counter tariffs it announced against the US. On social media, Chinese users are touting the deal. One hashtag, US-China suspending 24% tariffs within 90 days, already has 420 million views on Weibo. The line refers to a 24% figure cited near the top of the joint statement Washington and Beijing released. In total, the 90-day pause drops US import duties from 145% to 30% on Chinese goods, and Chinese tariffs on US goods from 125% to 10%. A Chinese social media user, Chen Feng Iran, posted, "Our ancestors didn't cave in. Why should we give up what we have?" The comment now has thousands of likes. Beijing is also using the trade deal to try to argue to the world that it is a responsible trading partner, even as a Chinese negotiating playbook has often been a point of frustration for international business community and trading partners. Foreign executives and officials complain of promise fatigue with Beijing, whose officials often seem content to talk of cooperation while taking relatively little action. In keeping with this negotiating playbook, Beijing has said it will work with the Trump administration on a new consultation mechanism to maintain dialogue on trade and other economic issues. The measures agreed to in Geneva, Switzerland, formally take effect Wednesday, but Beijing has quietly been granting exemption before the talks for some companies operating locally. China has also agreed to adopt all necessary administrative measures to suspend or remove the non-tariff countermeasures. This includes the latest round of tighter export curbs on rare earth that Beijing imposed. The minerals are so crucial to the US industry. China, however, sent some mixed signals Monday on cooperating on the metals. The Commerce Ministry reaffirmed its crackdown on rare earth smuggling for national security reasons and said foreign entities were partially to blame. The US-China trade deal has brought temporary relief from the escalating trade war rolling the global economy. Stock markets across the world surged Monday after Beijing and Washington announced the deal. In the run-up to negotiations in Switzerland over the weekend, Beijing remained firm that it wouldn't cave on its own priorities in order to reach an agreement with the US officials. We'll resolutely safeguard our regimental interest and uphold international fairness and justice, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said before the trade talks. The Commerce Ministry on Monday called the trade deal an important step, but took a jab at the Trump administration, saying the US should completely correct its unilateral tariff practices. Trump administration officials, for their part, are also characterizing the deal as a historic trade win for the US. The two sides are expected to meet again at some point over the next few weeks to negotiate a more fulsome agreement. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Monday on Cnbc Squawk Box. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.